as a nation has been through a lot. 13 years of civil war, 500,000 people dead. There's more rubble than buildings there. The economy is in a shambles. Yet Bashar al-Assad led quite a luxurious life. Look at his presidential palace in Damascus. As you can see, it's a sprawling, luxurious compound. 3 6-story buildings surrounded by manicured gardens. The interiors are even more opulent. The doors are bulletproof. Inside, the floors are lined with the finest marble. There are plush red carpets. The furnishing is high-end, like chandeliers made of crystal. There's expensive furniture, countless boxes of jewelry, bank records for millions of dollars, antique goods, racks of designer clothes, and refrigerators full of meat. His garage was full of luxury cars worth millions of dollars, including a rare Ferrari F50. It has an eye-watering price tag of $5.5 million. Assad fled the country last week. Ordinary Syrians have since raided his palace. Some have left with goods, including designer bags and furniture. Others just wanted to see how the family lived.
After he became arrogant and tyrannical, dominating the land for 13 years from 2011 to 2024, causing hunger, killings, torture, and the displacement of Syrian children. Today, we were finally able to enter Bashar al-Assad's palace. His palace has now become a place for the Syrian people.
I came to see what we were forbidden from seeing because we were not supposed to witness these things. We had to remain in the reality we lived in: poverty, deprivation, and hardship. I came to witness what he owns, which we do not have.
For years, Syria's First Lady Bashar al-Assad insisted that they led an ordinary life, that there were no trappings of luxury. Yet these pictures tell a different story. And speaking of pictures, the palace was full of them. Family holiday photos, pictures of parties. There were signs of a normal life too. Homework done by the children, birthday letters, even a Mother's Day card, all found scattered across the floor. So how did Assad fund this luxurious lifestyle? Of course, he had the backing of Russia and Iran, but he needed something more. Another robust source of income, and that came in the form of a drug, Captagon. It's a stimulant drug originally developed in the 1960s. It was legal for a while. By 1990, exports of this drug were limited, and in 2009, countries stopped manufacturing it altogether. And that's when Syria took over. They started producing this drug illegally. It took a few cents to produce a Captagon pill. It was then sent across the border to Jordan and finally to Saudi Arabia. That's where the drug was sold for nearly $25. Captagon is mostly found in West Asia, especially in the Gulf states. You see, alcohol is illegal there, so they use Captagon for recreational purposes. The drug made it to conflict zones as well. Hamas fighters are said to be using it, or were said to be using it. So large parts of West Asia was hooked onto this drug, and Syria was the drug dealer. The trade was run primarily by Maher al-Assad, the brother of Bashar al-Assad. By some estimates, the business was worth $10 billion, which is funny because Syria's GDP is less than $9 billion. So Captagon kept Assad afloat. And since taking over, the rebels have targeted it, dismantling his large network of drug trade.
After we entered and did a sweep, we found that this is a factory for Maher al-Assad and his partner Amir Kidi. They work in Captagon and drugs. And we found a large number of devices that were stuffed with packages of Captagon pills meant to be smuggled out of the country.
So what happens to the Assads now? They lost their source of income. They lost their country. What will they do now? We know that Bashar al-Assad fled to Moscow. His wife and children were already there. Sources suggest that he had 2 choices, Russia or Iran. But in the end, he chose Moscow. His son studies in the city. Also, his wife would get better medical care there. She was diagnosed with cancer in May this year. And that made Russia the top choice. Of course, the Assads will lead a comfortable life there, but it won't be the same. It will neither be luxurious nor extravagant. They may stay below the radar. That doesn't mean, though, that they are strapped for money. The family's net worth is around $2 billion, hidden in offshore tax havens, shell companies, and real estate holdings. They also own 20 apartments in Moscow, valued at over $30 million. So the Assads, of course, won't be struggling. For years, they ruled Syria with an iron fist. The family lived in opulence as the people continued to suffer. In Moscow, they will live as shadows of their former selves, haunted by the legacy of destruction that they've left behind.